Hello and welcome to the Retro Rallycross studio, where Steve Nottage is once again joining me. Hello, Steve.
Hello, Shirley. It's great to be back. We've got what the two Ronnies would have called a packed programme today. We've got so much to report on over the last few weeks in Retro Rallycross land. Can't wait to get started.
No, we've had quite a lot going on, haven't we? In our last show, Steve, you weren't with us, but Barry Stewart was one of our guests, and I've had a great response to that, and it's surprising just how many people do love a Porsche. I love a Porsche. Oh, yes. I know you love a Porsche. So we've been asked to show more of Barry. So shall we have a little look, Steve, at a clip of Barry Stewart in action?
Yes, please.
The red lights come on, and when they go out, it's a good start from Lance Foster's Mini initially, but then of course he gets out-powered by the Porsche and by the Ford Escort of Ray Morgan. So it is going to be Barry Stewart's Porsche that goes through into the lead. Ray Morgan runs a little bit wide though, going round through Cheshens, almost allows Lance Foster at the wheel of the ex-Ian Sandwith Mini to try and wrestle his way through from third up into second, and now going through into the lead of the race is the Escort of Ray Morgan. So as they head down Dover Slope, onto the brakes and in towards the Devil's Elbow for the first time, it is the Ford Escort in the hands of Ray Morgan at leads. Barry Stewart, though, not as yet given up aspirations of retaking the lead of the race as they head onto the brakes and round through North Bend for the first time. Out of the right-hander they'll go, back down the hill. The Ford Escort, number 14, the white car in the hands of Ray Morgan it is that leads, being hounded all of the way, though, by the man from East Sussex, the motor mechanic, who started by cutting his teeth in sprinting and hill climbing in the 1980s. He's been rallycrossing since the mid-90s, though, and he's now got this fabulous Porsche 911 at his disposal. It's only good for second, though, at the moment, because Ray Morgan's still continuing to lead. Barry Stewart there in second place. It looks as though it's Lance Foster who's there in third place, and the Metro 6R4 of Rob Gibson, the yellow car, now starting to make a little bit of progress.
Of Barry Stewart, and completing the front rank, Lance Foster in the green and white Ian Sandwith Mini, and Lance Foster's made a decent start, but it's Ray Morgan in the Escort who leads into Hatchets for the first time. Mark Griffin in that superb Mark 1 Fiesta, the first time we've seen that car out this season, is in fourth place, but it's Ray Morgan in the Escort. Lance Foster nearly loses the Mini coming onto the tarmac there, very sideways indeed, but gathers it up in that second place. Stewart in third place, but it's Ray Morgan, despite being rather wayward around the first lap, leads the way in the Ford Escort BDA. Barry Stewart having a go at Lance Foster for that second place. Fourth place is still Mark Griffin in the Fiesta, then it's Paul Smith in the VW Polo, Ian Biaggi's Mini rounding out the top time before moving on to the European Series with the Ford Sierra. There's Barry Stewart in the John Smith lookalike Porsche, trying to close up on Ray Morgan for that second place, and he gets the inside line away. I think Morgan's in trouble here. He's gone very wide on the run into Hatchet. Stewart goes through into second place, or was Ray Morgan just setting it up so he could squirt down the outside line towards Spitfires? It doesn't work, whatever he was doing, and Barry Stewart holds second place in the Porsche. Second place away, Barry Stewart almost onto the grass on the inside, almost three abreast for the lead as they run towards Dibony, and Barry Stewart spins the Porsche. Round goes Barry Stewart. Something had to give there between those three. You can't get three cars abreast into 5-second boards is displayed by the marshals, about to get underway. The lights go out and away we go. Who's going to get the whole shot into the first corner? It's a great start by Barry Stewart from the outside the front row in the Porsche, but Lance Foster in the Mini leads into Hatchets for the first time. Ray Morgan with his typical rapid start in the Escort. Can he take the lead on the outside? Indeed he can. Ray Morgan into the lead then in the Escort BDA. Barry Stewart second in the Porsche. Lance Foster has gone down to third place. They head onto the loose for the first time. So can Ray Morgan hang on in front? He's had a few issues getting this hairpin right so far today. Gets the Escort sideways, manages to gather it up, holds his lead. Further back, Mark Griffin in the Fiesta battling with Ian Biaggi. Was on for a fourth place in Heat 3 earlier on and suffered broken front suspension. Barry Stewart could tell here, but he's under fire in turn from Lance Foster. Little and large battling together, the big Porsche and the diminutive Mini. It's Ray Morgan in the white Escort, evoking memories of the likes of Martin Shanker, who leads the way. Barry Stewart late on the brakes for Hatchet's Hairpin. He goes through. Barry Stewart takes the lead in the Porsche, but has he gone too wide on the exit? Ray Morgan gets his foot down on the run towards the left-hander at Spitfires, and he does retake the lead on the outside. Great dice between the Ford and the Porsche. Lance Foster's Mini dropping back a little. He failed to finish one of the heats, so maybe in trouble again here. Ray Morgan leads it then again, running wide on that hairpin. That's the corner that's caused all the problems today on this dry, dusty track. There is Barry Stewart there in second place in the Porsche. The leaders go through. 11 racing. Cuts to the inside as they go round Hatchet's Hairpin once again. Eager to make up for missing the previous round at Knock Hill with gearbox issues, Barry Stewart, but he's not reeling in Ray Morgan in the Ford Escort. Of course, Martin Shanker and John Welch, the most famous Mark III and Mark IV Escort pilots in Rallycross in days gone by. Remember their famous battles at Brands Hatch in the British Grand Prix of the 80s. Ray Morgan evoking those memories here, leading the way in here in the Escort, but Barry Stewart and Lance Foster outpace him off the line. Barry in the Porsche 911, Lance Foster in the green and white Mini, the ex-Ian Sandwith car. All three of them together. We've seen all three take wins in Retro Rallycross this year. It's Barry Stewart marginally ahead in the Porsche 911. The Rothmans liveried car, evoking memories of John Smith. But Ray Morgan, a great move around the outside there, and he's taken the lead. He's gone round both of them on the outside Dover slope there. Good bit of driving by Ray Morgan in the Ford Escort Cosworth BDA. Ford Escort Mark III used by the likes of John Welch and the legendary Mr. Rallycross, Martin Shanker, in the early days of Rallycross, and off goes Barry Stewart. The Porsche goes straight on from pole position into Chester's Drift for the first time. We're on board back in the midfield with Barry Stewart. All like he's driving in. Going to be third. Here they come. It is going to be Ian Biaggi. It looks like we may have lost Lance Foster because Barry Stewart is there in fourth place. So Lance Foster dropping out on the final lap. And Barry Stewart spins as he comes out of the final chicane. Poor old Barry. What a day he's had. He does get across the line for fourth place on the grass.
Oh, well, lots there, Steve, for all our Barry Stewart fans. I hope you enjoyed watching those combined clips that show Barry in all sorts of weather conditions and at various circuits in the Retro Rallycross Championship.
I was completely caught up with that. It was wonderful to watch. Obviously, we started the clips there at Lydden Hill, and then we went to Pembury in South Wales, and then back to a very wet and soggy Lydden, just giving a little hint of the variety of weather conditions that we race in Rallycross generally. In Retro Rallycross is no exception. We also had a good few examples there of just what a beast and what a handful Barry's Porsche is, where all that weight at the back of the car, he's just eager to show what he wants to go first. And on top of all of that, having sat in the car, the visibility out of it is less than good. So for Barry to be racing such a potent weapon of a car, and with the side windows caked in mud or with condensation, I doff my cap to you, sir. Thank you for entertaining us, Barry.
So that was the Barry Stewart show, I think. Okay, so recently, the last time we were all together was at the Legends event, Steve. That was a fantastic weekend. Do you have any special memories that you brought away from the Legends?
Well, Shirley, how long have you got? How great memories of the Lydden Legends. Well, it's difficult to know quite where to start, whether it was just having full grids of 10 or 12 cars just going out and demonstrating at Lydden in wonderful weather. And where else were you going to see a whole grid of Group B Rallycross cars? Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. But for me, I think for me the highlight was seeing the wonderful Will Gollop in the paddock at Lydden, where he belongs. And I was very fortunate to have a few minutes chat with him. I got him to sign a couple of my models, and it occurred to me, and I said to Will at the time, how wonderful it was to see him there and to get his autograph again, 38 years after I'd first got his autograph at Lydden
Oh,
in the
really?
paddock. Yeah,
38 years. Oh, well, listen,
yes.
Steve, our team have put together a reel just so that we can show people who probably didn't get to go to the Legends just exactly what a wonderful time that we had.
Oh, yes.
Right, well, I hope you all enjoyed watching that, and I want to say a special thanks to Matt Bristow for all the work that he does for Retro Rallycross and for putting these wonderful reels together for us. Now, as you know, if you've been in a Retro Rallycross paddock, Steve and I busy ourselves wandering around and trying to find people to chat to with our microphone in hand, and Maria behind us with her camera. And on that weekend, we were able to catch up with quite a few people, and Steve managed to have a quick chat with 6 times British Rallycross champion Dermot Carnegie. And yes, I spoke to Gary Simpson too, and so we've got those 2 clips for you now.
Well, here amongst the Lydden Legends is an absolute Rallycross royalty, Mr. Dermot Carnegie. Dermot, what are your thoughts on this wonderful event of ours?
I think it's fantastic. Like what it has been arranged, like with Pat and everybody, I think it is brilliant. We have enjoyed ourselves and very kindly been a guest here. And it's not often I get invited to anything, So I just think it's wonderful. And we've had a really great time. The racing was good. Everybody seems to behave.
The demonstrations,
Yeah,
not the
yeah.
race.
Well, yeah. But no, it's most enjoyable. And the weather was fantastic. So, I think everybody had a good time.
It's wonderful as well to see cars that perhaps we haven't seen in Britain for years, with the French contingent bringing some beautifully prepared cars with them and showing the circuit.
Absolutely. And I don't know, I sold all my cars, and I'm kind of sorry now, but sure, hindsight is a great thing.
Oh, isn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah. So we'll just have to grin and bear it.
And no one can take away what you've done in the past and the memories that you have.
Well, that's true, but as long as I still have my memory, I suppose. But I've enjoyed life. I've enjoyed everything I've done. I've been very lucky, and I have won a few things here and there, and it's been good.
Just a question then on your career. How did you start in Rallycross?
Well, I started with auto testing first, and then I went rallying for quite a few years, and then the Rallycross was getting going, and because I run my own business and I couldn't really afford time away from work, so the Rallycross suited, and that's why I went Rallycross, because the less time away than if you were rallying and that kind of stuff. So I got involved there and got some success, so I got in on it, and then the rest is history.
Now, and of that rich Rallycross history of yours, there must be one standout moment, or something that you've achieved. What would that be?
I think the Rallycross Grand Prix in Brands Hatch was fantastic. We were there one year and there was 34 604s in it, and only 8 cars qualified for the final. And anyway, I qualified for the final, and I've been at the Grand Prix 5 times. I think it was 5 or 6 times, and I qualified every time. I never missed the final, so I've been very lucky. Yeah.
Well, as a true dyed-in-the-wool Rallycross enthusiast, it's been wonderful watching you racing over the years, and thank you so much for your time here and now. I know you're being pulled left, right, and centre. Everyone wants a little bit of their Dermot, so thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
So, Gary Simpson, with your beautiful BMW, back at Lydden Hill.
Back at Lydden Hill, yeah, after 11 months since the last time we were here, and in that time it's been back to a bare shell and almost back to normal.
Yeah, well, that's really good. And you've not started the Retro Rallycross season yet?
No, well, we had the engine on the dyno last week, a little bit of an issue with it, went back to the engine builder. I got the car back on Wednesday night, we came here Thursday morning.
That was tight. That was tight.
It's not good for... it's not 100% finished yet, so we just have to go steady this weekend and then back on the dyno in the next couple of weeks or so, and then hopefully we can get going.
And you're an ex-Retro Rallycross champion, aren't you?
Yeah, it was a while ago now. But yes, 19 I think it was, if I remember rightly.
It was. It's time to have a crack at it again?
We'll see how we go. It's obviously no good for this year, but we'll all being well, we will do next year. Competition's a bit stiffer now though, isn't it? There's more and more quick stuff coming in, so we have to try even harder.
Yeah, well, no, I can relate to that. You're going to join us down here in August?
All being well, yet again, as long as we get the engine mapped and everything behaves, then all being well, we'll be here in August.
Oh, good. So don't forget, folks, we're back here on the 17th of August, down back at our favourite circuit, Lydden Hill, and we look forward to seeing you then, Gary.
Absolutely. Hopefully I'll be here.
Thank you.
It's always
great
lots of
memories.
fun, isn't it? It's lots of fun, isn't it? But there were loads of people, weren't there, just wandering around, and legendary names and the French legends. It was absolutely fantastic, and rally drivers too, not just rallycross cars.
No, that's right. Plenty of people to rub shoulders with, and amongst those was a particularly famous rally driver from days of not so long ago, Louise Aitken Walker, and Shirley managed to catch up with her and have a little chat.
Oh, I did, and I was so pleased that she sounded so appreciative of the Retro Rallycross Championship. So we'll have a little look at that, shall we, Steve?
Please.
So at the Lydden Legend Festival, I've managed to catch up with Louise Aitken Walker. And Louise, you're no stranger to Rallycross. You've competed in an event at Croft many years ago.
It was many years ago. And do you know, I'm fascinated with it more today. I think coming here to Lydden Hill has opened my eyes, and it is a great sport for anybody that's starting up. I think it's short and sweet, that's what I could describe it as. And there's lots of people to help. I think it's, I'm loving today, loving it.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying yourself. So the Retro Rallycross Championship, you'd be great racing in the Retro Rallycross Championship, so you need to seriously think about coming back out again.
Oh, I have thought about it, and I mean, rally is my passion, but I could do a bit of this, but not a full championships. But I would encourage anybody else that's much younger than I am to come out and do it.
Oh, you're never too old. Have you seen the drivers in my championship?
No, not really, but I don't want to be rude. No, it's really good. You've got everybody buzzing, and I think it's great to come out. If you can't come and do it, come and watch it.
Oh, thanks, Louise, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you. I will. Thanks.
Oh, I enjoyed that, catching up with Louise. It was fantastic.
Yeah, what a lovely lady she is, and she gave us a little nibble there that maybe she could come out and join us on track. That would be quite sensational. And there we were in the Kent sunshine, watching the action out on track. Of course, it was only a demonstration. There was racing with the supercars, and with the juniors as well. They were contesting rounds of their own championships, but we were demonstrating, and Matt managed to catch some of that action on some of his photographs. And here we are, the wonderful TR7 V8 of Nigel Davey and Alan Tapscott, who a few weeks earlier had been parked on his side at Blighton. And a little indication there of the full grids that we had, and such wonderful variety of machinery, and some Group B cars here as well, and some of the French contingents. Something for everyone. And Shirley, of the amazing things that we saw, what stuck out in your memory as your best memory from the Lydden Legends?
Oh gosh, and just like you said, Steve, there are so many. I mean, just seeing our retro boys having so much fun must be the number one memory that I would take away from the Legends event. And of course, they were joined on track by the French legends. I suppose one of the highlights for me is always having the opportunity to meet up with old friends. I had a quick chat with Will and Kenneth Hansen, both of whom have been friends of mine for many, many years. The three of us even worked together for several of those. Steve actually couldn't resist getting Kenneth and I together so that he could find out a little bit more about that.
What a wonderful way to spend some time at Lydden Legends with two Rallycross legends, Mrs. Shirley Gibson and Mr. Kenneth Hansen. What wonderful to share some of the time here at this event. Kenneth, you've been out there and hopefully enjoying yourself in the Peugeot.
Yeah, it has been a fantastic weekend. I mean, I had a couple of practice laps on Friday and then races on Saturday and Sunday, so I loved it. And I think in the end, I mean, you're catching up some speed again and getting a little back. It will never be like before, but anyway, it was fun and I enjoyed and it was good.
So how long since you were last racing at full speed? Not that we were at full speed today because it was a demonstration.
It would be 13 years ago.
And the rust is polishing off.
Yeah, I think it take a little bit more, but you know, I mean, I'm over 60 now, so it will not come back like I was in the past. But still, I'm enjoying, and the speed was okay, I think.
Yeah. And Shirley, you must be very proud of what you've seen this weekend.
Oh, immensely proud of Retro Rallycross, and it's been fantastic as well to meet up with loads of old friends, especially this one here who's very special.
Now, you do go back quite a long way as a couple, and obviously Shirley and Suzanne are well aware of this, but it's a very special rallycross relationship that you have with Erda. How can you tell us how that started?
Yeah, the Drivers Association. I mean, I think it started a little like we saw we needed to make our voice heard as drivers, and Shirley took the leadership of that and did it very well. And most of the job was to try to get TV together and so we were seen. I mean, if you're not seen, you don't have a value either. So, and Shirley did a great job there. We were fighting so much for the sport, for rallycross, which we still are. Still a lot of job there, and Shirley in the retro and I'm in the World Championship fighting, but we have the same goal, to make rallycross great.
And how successful have you been with getting retro rallycross out there and seen by millions?
You know, even I still can't believe it. It was 2010 when the idea came about. And in 2011, I spent that whole year looking for cars. Do they still exist? Are they with the original drivers? Would they want to bring them out again? And in 2012, when we started at Mallory Park in July, we had 4 cars. So I convinced this old man to get his yellow 6R4 dusted off and to put that also on the grid. And look where we are now, 12 years on. It's amazing. I'm so proud of the drivers. And you know, Kenneth, it's just like it was when we were racing at the end of the 80s and through the 90s, where, yes, they would lock horns on the track, but there was still a huge element of camaraderie. You know, we were all friends at the end of the day, and that's exactly what Retro Rallycross is like.
Yeah. That's a part of rallycross. I mean, we are a big family, and I think that's why we never give up. We fight for it, and I mean, if it's retro or if it's the newest part, World Championship, European, doesn't matter. We are a big family.
I'm forever referring to my retro rallycross family, and being in the paddock feels not friends, it's family. There's more of a bond there than just friendship. Rallycross means so much to so many people.
Yeah, really it does, and it's lovely to have the teams open so the fans can come in and speak with the drivers and the young kids that come in and make photos, and so it's wonderful, it's lovely.
Well, and I can speak from experience there, because I think I was 8 or 9 when I first came to Lydden Hill, and was amazed that I could get up close to the cars, I could speak to the drivers, I could even sit in some of the seats and end up with stickers, which I've still got to this day on my toolbox. It's the openness of the rallycross paddock that's so different from other forms of motorsport, Shirley.
Well, you know, what I actually find in Retro Rallycross with the emails that I receive and the comments that we get on our social pages, the people who are following us, it's a younger audience now. You know, the youngsters love to see the older cars too. And people come up to me in the paddock and they say, oh, my granddad had one of these cars. Or, you know, people can actually instant relate to these early period cars, perhaps less than they can do with the World Rallycross cars, but whether it's at that top level or whether it is a sort of like more of what you would call a grassroots level, you know, we are just one big happy family. And if you and I look back sort of like over 35 years ago when we first met, would we ever have dreamt that there would be a World Championship?
No, we wouldn't. And I mean, whatever you do, it's very important to not forget the history. So I mean, Retro have a big part of Rallycross, and it's very good that you did that job when you started this, and to bring it on. And you see now which a success it is, how many cars there are, and it's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, we started with those grids of just 4 cars, and I mean, we can get 27 now, and it's just even I have to pinch myself. I really do.
We're often having more cars in the Retro Rallycross and Super Retro Rallycross classes than any of the other categories, which is wonderful. And we know there are still cars out there and being built, being dusted off, and being brought out back onto the track where they should be.
Exactly. A lot of cars are just standing there and collecting dust. And I think when, you know, this, come out in social media, when people read more and more about it, I mean, one day these guys will think, oh, perhaps I should have a look and see if I can start it again, and perhaps I should join one race. That's lovely.
Indeed, well, we've seen that this weekend with cars that have been brought out from a long retirement. That's wonderful to see. You can see the response with the spectators, as well as other drivers, just being thrilled at some of the old machinery that's back, looking as good as it ever did.
And we'll get Kenneth in Retro Rallycross one of these days.
Yeah, I have. I also have one of these cars that collect dust. So
I
one
know
of my
you
old
do.
ZX.
I know you do.
So I mean, I was thinking of it last year when I was in Loyac and drove the Peugeot 205, and now I got more laps here with the 306. So it's getting closer there when I will put it together.
You see, folks, I get them in the end.
Yes, if Shirley has you in her sightlines, then there's no escape, and it'll be wonderful to have you out there racing or demonstrating if it's at one of these wonderful festivals out there on track again. How good would that be?
That would be fantastic. I mean, it was fantastic to be in other cars also, and to drive Will's car here was emotional, and to have Will in the seat on the show laps there when we did the driver presentation, that was really emotional. And I think for me it came some tears, and I think it was 1 or 2 from Will also, so I'm really happy for this.
Yeah, I was able to catch up with Will earlier on, and he is clearly thoroughly enjoying being here at Lydden, where he spent so many happy and some difficult weekends racing over the years. And yeah, it's so much about sparking up old memories, and at the same time creating something new, as Shirley, you've so successfully done.
Thank you. And do you know what? Talking about this one here, possibly coming to race with us in Retro, and also talking about Will Gollop. What a wonderful way to end an interview. Thank you, Steve.
Well, thank you both so very much, and we'll look forward to catching up in sometime in the not too distant future, and when we might have our new recruit with us.
Thank you too. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that was good. Thank you, Steve. That was really good. So, Steve, it's now time to look at last month's competition. I think you have the results there.
Well, there's the best way of going through the results is actually to put the names up on the screen, and here we go. Now, I can say at this point that we didn't get any completely correct answers. Perhaps not a shock because there were quite a few there, but yeah, we've got well, some of the drivers there are still racing, and sadly, some of the characters there are no longer with us. There's also a little girl over there on the right-hand side. Shirley, I think you know very well who she is.
Yes, that's right. And our winner, who was Belgian Rick Parmenter, he got a couple of the names wrong, but he gets a bonus point anyway because he mentioned Sarah Gibson on the far right-hand side. And the question, of course, wasn't how many drivers can you see, is how many people, name the people. And as you say, Steve, yes, it's very sad that there are so many in that lineup. But you know that that was such a special day. The photograph was taken by Johnny Loix. It was at Buxtehude on the 20th of September in 1992. And it was taken as a special gift to me, organised by Martin Shanker, for my 40th birthday. Now, I've given the game away now, you see, because anybody that's any good at maths can figure that one out.
And Shirley, how close did Rick get to finding the full answer?
Well, he got 2 wrong. So there was just 2 that he didn't get. One he didn't know, and then it's marvellous, yeah. But you know, Eddie Laumans and myself, we were a little bit stuck too. So you might think it's easy for those of us who were around even in those times, but even we struggled and scratched our heads a little bit, I must admit.
Well, I like the idea of scratching of heads, which leads me into this competition for this month. And this month, what we decided is, if we think back to the way that the finals were always arranged, with a C final and the winner of the C final going on to the back of the B final, and the winner of the B final going on to the back of the A final for the ultimate winner of that meeting. So you could have quite a lot of finals leading up to the big final, the A final at the end. Now, in the European Rallycross Championship, all the years that was running, how many drivers won a C final and then won the B final and then won the A final all at the same meeting? How many of them, and who were they?
Wow. So you're setting that as our next competition then?
I think so. That's got to get a bit of grey matter going, hasn't it? And a few people scratching their heads.
That works for me. Yep. So there you go, folks. How many people in the history of the European Rallycross Championship have won the C, the B, and gone on to win the A final in a single event? Now that should get you all thinking, shouldn't it? Well, we've had a great time, haven't we, Steve? And it's always a pleasure to bring you the Retro Rallycross news. And so it's almost time to close the show, but I just want to remind you of our next event, which is on the 17th of August, which is the two-wheel drive Super Prix at Lydden Hill. And we're looking forward to seeing all of our supporters who always come along and have a chat to us. I'm sure that you would all like to follow and subscribe to Retro Rallycross. That would be a big help to us. And so we'll see you next time, race fans.